Meep, meep.
On Saturday, Nathan and I loaded the bike and got ready to take off. By Sunday midday, we were in Franklin, North Carolina, with hours to ride before sundown. So let's get going. Why Franklin, North Carolina? Because it's right in the middle of some of the best riding around. Blue Ridge Parkway, Cherahala Skyway, Tail of the Dragon, and a lot more. We are on the road. Nathan's my co-pilot. Give him a wave, Nathan, and promises to take some still pictures. We're ready to get our motor going and get out on the highway.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway. Looking for adventure. And whatever comes our way. Yeah, darling, we'll make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of the guns at once and explode into space. I like smoking lightning. Heavy metal thunder, racing with the wind, and the feeling that I'm under.
We are on a part of the Moonshiner Road, and it's also got some waterfalls, like this one. It's called Dry Falls, not because it has no water, but because you can actually get behind the waterfall and stay dry. Still on the Moonshiner, we head to the town of Highlands, North Carolina, and turn right into Georgia. This is pretty country, and I'm glad Nathan is taking some still pictures, but those clouds are kind of troubling. Nathan asked me whenever possible that we're on the bike to play 60s or 50s music and to sing along. We're pulling in here to take a closer look at the countryside and to use the dreaded selfie stick that Nathan just hates. Get your hand off my video. Look at that, huh? Actually, we look much better with our helmets off, but darn those clouds. So the helmets go back on, and we're off the way we came, and notice that the streets are damp.
He's ready to ride, so let it pour. He's got a plan, he's heading north into the teeth of that thunderstorm. It don't scare him, let it pour. He's the Rain Man, we call him the Rain Man. When the storm clouds gather in the east or west, it don't matter 'cause he is the best. When the sky opens up and he's soaking wet, he just smiles and pretends that it's wet. He's the Rain Man, the motorcycle Rain Man. He don't say much, but he sure can ride. matter what conditions fall from the sky. If you listen real close when he rolls through town, in the midst of the storm you can hear him growl. It goes something like this, something like this. Give me your best shot, show me some rain. Give me your best shot, give me some pain.
Well, that's enough pain and rain, and we're going to pull off here and wait till it stops raining. Unless, of course, you'd like to see some more rain, Nathan. We will see more in the coming days. As terrific as it is, this is only a fraction of the Moonshiner route, and we will do more of it as soon as tomorrow. Meanwhile, we're back to the barn. From our third-story window, I pan a view of those decorative trees around the hotel. Then we go to supper, where I have another chance to embarrass Nathan and try and get him to talk with his mouth full.
Yeah, and there he is, chewing on his Mexican. Ha! How do you like Mexican?
He tolerates Grandpa pretty well. The next day, we're up pretty early and ready to ride the Waya Road. Not far from Franklin, just Waya down the road. So as soon as we leave, it gets Smoky Mountain foggy, and by the time we turn onto Waya Road, it's not foggy, but my new action cam has drops all over the lens, and me being the action cam newbie don't know it. Fortunately, Nathan is taking pictures of Waya Road. Waya is a Cherokee word for wolf. Apparently they used to thrive here. My windshield camera is getting better as the sun comes out. Nathan is recording an ideal motorcycle road. Good surface, lots of curves, changes in altitude, and beautiful scenery. This is also a 30-mile stretch with hardly any traffic at all. We are in the Nantahala Forest. Nantahala is a Cherokee word that means land of the noonday sun. The area fits its names because in a few spots the sun's rays only reaches the floor of the national forest when it's directly overhead during the middle of the day. We pass the Nantahala Lake and the Nantahala River, and if you see anything else, it's probably named Nantahala as well. Waya Road is called Thunder Road by the locals. We don't really know why, but it is Thunder Road. Waya Road, or Thunder Road, takes us to Robbinsville, and then we turn left for the Cherahala Skyway, a 43-mile National Scenic Byway to Tellico Plains, Tennessee. A road featured as one of Discovery Channel's top 10 motorcycle roads in North America. I've been on a few roads, and this is a good one, at least in our top 30. You get to see lots of vistas over the Smokies. The road winds up and over 5,400-foot mountains for 18 miles in North Carolina and descends another 23 miles into the deeply forested backcountry of Tennessee. The road crosses through the Cherokee and Nantahala National Forest, giving the name Cherahala. Get it? While at a vista overlook, we learn from other motorcyclists that further west on the Skyway, they're staging up to film a car commercial, meaning closing the road for hours. So, Discovery Channel aside, we head back the way we came toward other great roads. So back to Robbinsville, where we head north on 129. US 129 currently runs for 580 miles through Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. The section we're headed to is located beside Deals Gap on the North Carolina-Tennessee state line. It's better known as the Dragon, or the Tail of the Dragon. A gap is a geological formation that's a low point or opening between hills or mountains. In motorcycle groups, they say Tail of the Dragon or Deals Gap interchangeably, but technically, Deals Gap is a specific place. The Tail of the Dragon is an 11-mile stretch of road that begins right there. One more curved around and we are at Deals Gap. There they have what is perhaps grandiosely called a motorcycle resort. They do have a small motel, restaurant, and of course, the souvenir shops. And there are always hundreds of motorcyclists about. We're here on a weekday, midday, and on a weekend, it's just nuts. There are all types of motorcycles here. Tourers, cruisers, crotch rockets, adventure bikes, and more. We are off the bike at Deals Gap Motorcycle Resort to look around. Here's the Tree of Shame, where if you crash your bike, you get to hang up some broken pieces, a dubious honor. You can take your bike up to a photo opportunity spot or merely have someone take your picture there. A cooler dragon representation is across the street. And then we presumptively brought T-shirts that said, "We survived the 318 curves in 11 miles." So, having bought the T-shirts, we really got to do it now. How hard can it be? 318 curves in 11 miles. Everybody does it. Well, actually, not everybody does it. I didn't mention to Nathan that in the last 18 years, 34 people have died on this stretch of road. And I certainly didn't tell Nathan's mother that. Okay, here we go. Here comes turn number 1. Are you ready? That really wasn't any big deal. Turn number 2. Okay, 3 and 4 look a little harder. Slow it down a little bit there for 3. And 4. You're getting the hang of this. Most of the Tail of the Dragon is in Tennessee. Here we are leaving North Carolina and going into the Volunteer State. Nathan's comfortable enough to take pictures, including selfies. Look out for those sport bikes behind you there, buddy. When you see somebody behind you, you gotta make way for them to pass. Along the way are half a dozen photographers taking action pictures of the riders. And then for a small fee, you can download a beautiful picture of yourself on the Tail of the Dragon. It's hard to take a selfie that includes your motorcycle. Wow, that was a cruiser that just passed us like we were standing still. He is obviously a more aggressive biker than I am. Wonder what it would be like to ride that fast on the Tail of the Dragon. There, we've caught up with him. As much fun as it is to ride the Dragon, it's only 11 miles long, so let's just turn around and ride it again. Some of the Dragon's sharpest curves have names like Copperhead Corner, Wheelie Hell, Mud Corner, Beginner's End, and maybe my favorite, Gravity Cavity. The road earned its name from its curves being said to resemble the tail of a dragon. It would be less successful as the tail of the monkey. Okay, let's pull over and watch some other guys on this particular curve. Okay, these Harley guys are really loafing through, so I feel like I'm a rocket. Okay, so much for the rocket. And now we have done the Dragon 2 times, and we are back at Deals Gap. This time, rather than continue down 129 again, we turn left on 28, which is more of the Moonshiner route. On this fabulous day, we went on Waya Road, which is called Thunder Road, then to the Tail of the Dragon, where they filmed the movie Thunder Road, which is about moonshiners. And now we're on the Moonshiner. If only we had a manly man like Robert Mitchum to tell the tale.
Let me tell the story, I can tell it all, about the mountain boy who ran illegal alcohol. His daddy made the whiskey, son he drove the load. When his engine roared, they called the highway Thunder Road. Sometimes into Asheville, sometimes Memphis town. The revenuers chased him, but they couldn't run him down. Each time they thought they had him, his engine would explode. He'd go by like they were standing still on Thunder Road. And there was thunder, thunder over Thunder Road. Thunder was his engine and white lightning was his load. And there was moonshine, moonshine, quenched the devil's thirst. The law they swore they'd get him, but the devil got him first. On the 1st of April, 1954, the federal man sent word he'd better make his run no more. He said 200 agents were covering the state. Whichever road he tried to take, they'd get him sure as fate. Son, his daddy told him, make this run your last. Your tank is filled with 100 proof, you're all tuned up and gassed. Now don't take any chances. If you can't get through, I'd rather have you back again than all that Mountain Dew. And there was thunder, thunder over Thunder Road. Thunder was his engine and white lightning was his load. And there was moonshine, moonshine to quench the devil's thirst. The law they swore they'd get him, but the devil got him first. Roaring out of Harlan, revving up his mill, he shot the gap at Cumberland and screened by Maynardville. With G-Man on his tail light, roadblocks up ahead. The mountain boy took roads that even angels feared to tread. Blazing right through Knoxville, out on Kingston Pike. Then right outside of Bearden, there they made the fatal strike. He left the road at 90, that's all there is to say. The devil got the moonshine and the mountain boy that day. And there was thunder, thunder over Thunder Road. Thunder was his engine and white lightning was his load. And there was moonshine, moonshine to quench the devil's thirst. The law they never got him, 'cause the devil got him first. Law they never got him, 'cause the devil got him first. Thunder, 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 toll.
So today we've easily done over 1,500 curves. It may be the ultimate day of motorcycling. It would be a tough one to beat. And we are so beat that we decide to just have our nutritious evening meal in our room that night. We begin the next day with a camera adjustment.
You want me right up here?
Oh, what a hit.
Oh, now you're recording, I can see.
We're going to northern Georgia to run the 6 Gap route. You know what a gap is, and on this route, there are 6 of them. The first gap is Stone Pile Gap, which has a story about an Indian princess. Princess Tralita's grave is at the intersection, literally, of Highway 60 and 19. According to Cherokee legend, she's said to have lived in the North Carolina mountains, and she'd drink from a nearby fountain of youth to retain her renowned beauty. The historical marker at Stone Pile Gap, her supposed resting place, reads, "Custom arose among the Indians and later the whites to drop stones, one for each passerby, on her grave for good fortune. Gail and I did that some years ago. Today there's a pile of stones some 6 feet high. I was looking forward to having Nathan participate in that custom, but they've made it a roundabout, no stopping." Sometimes in Georgia, you have to get off the back roads and go into the metropolis to get gas, for example. And here we are, getting gas in Booger Hollow. Six Gap, Georgia is a pleasant enough ride, and pretty soon we find ourselves in a geographic non sequitur, an alpine village of Helen, Georgia. German food restaurants are everywhere, but Nathan and I chose to try some Southern cooking, where apparently they serve the food by the pound. And we looked out the window and it was pouring. We waited a while, then put on our rain suits, and of course, then the rain immediately stopped. Nevertheless, we concluded our tour of 2, maybe 3 Gap, Georgia. The next day dawns with bright sunshine as we head north to the Blue Ridge Parkway. The Blue Ridge Parkway is a national parkway and all-American road, noted for its scenic beauty. It's America's longest linear park. It runs for 469 miles, linking the Shenandoah National Park to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Well, we started at the Smoky Mountain Park, and we'll go as far as Asheville, North Carolina, probably 100 miles, running east into the morning sun. It runs mostly along the spine of the Blue Ridge, a major mountain chain that's part of the Appalachian Mountains. It's not a super technical motorcycle road, but one that invites you to stop and smell the roses. Those are roses, aren't they? Blue Ridge Parkway tunnels consist of 26 vehicle tunnels. If you Because of the North Carolina rugged terrain, 25 are in this state. The design standards specified a minimum impact on the land. The vehicle tunnels were often constructed to reduce excessive landscape scarring that open cuts would have produced. Most of the work on the tunnel digging was done by hand and provided by the Civilian Conservation Corps in the 1930s. Little machinery was used with the intention of creating manual labor in depressed economic times. As mentioned, the Blue Ridge Parkway is on the spine or backbone of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and the highest point is just over 6,000 feet, and it's right here where we pulled off. A popular location to get your picture taken in front of the sign that tells you exactly where you are. Well, after taking this picture of the bike, we asked a fellow traveler to take our picture with the sign, and she positioned us just so, smack in front of the sign, and said, "Let me take another just in case." Not everyone can be a photographer. At 11:30, we're looking for a place to have our picnic lunch on the parkway, and then by noon, the light had changed dramatically. Then an hour later, the weather itself changed dramatically. It was a total washout, so we donned the rain gear again and took a slow, uncomfortable ride back to the motel. The trip wasn't all motorcycle riding. We visited a museum. Here we are at Dale's Wheels Through Time, a fantastic exhibit, mostly Harley-Davidson and Indian motorcycles. Riding a motorcycle is great. Going on a trip with your grandson, priceless.